Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, episode 79, where today we'll be talking about NFL teams. We're going to go AFC first, then the NFC. Then we're going to tell somebody to shut the hell up. Then we're going to tell the world how we feel. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an explosive show because, damn it, it's coming.
Whatever you're into when it comes to sports, you can find it right here. Now, play my intro. Now it's time for the Robb Johnson Sports Show, presented by Robb Johnson Media and the Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Robb Johnson Sports Show, where today we'll be discussing football. And when we discuss football, we'll be talking about the AFC and NFC. First, we'll talk about the AFC. And folks, this is a freestyle, so we're going to let out our frustrations. We're going to let out certain things that we feel so far about the conferences. We'll give you maybe about 15, 20 minutes on the AFC, then we'll go NFC. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man right here, Larry Patterson of Game Time Sports Network. He's been doing an excellent job so far covering all the high school sports. In fact, let's give him some more love.
Check out Game Time 365 Sports on the Game Time Sports Network. Larry Patterson bringing the heat to you every single time.
I don't think y'all heard me.
Check out Game Time 365 Sports on the Game Time Sports Network. Larry Patterson bringing the heat to you every single time.
And before we get to NFL, Larry, you had told me something about 17, 20K or something like that. Let's clap it up for it.
Yes,
Finally,
sir.
damn it. Finally. Tell them about it real quick before we get to NFL.
What are we talking? What are we talking about?
The video you got like 17,000.
Oh, I got like 67.5K now, and
see, it was at 16. Now now we're gonna reach for 100K.
we're gonna reach for 100K. And 67 has stood there for about 3-4 days. So let's continue to get that up.
Exactly.
Let's get that up.
A million. I told you. Keep on pushing. Speaking of pushing, let's talk about pushing. Let's talk about your Denver Broncos and the coming out party, or as you say, Bo Nix becoming the rookie of the year this past weekend in a dominant victory over the team that you do not like whatsoever. Let's just be honest, the Atlanta Falcons. I know it felt extra good to beat those Falcons. So, and we'll talk about them when we get to the NFC. But talk about your Broncos, man. Just tell the people about the Broncos and what they've accomplished so far this season.
It's been very good to get that victory, by the way. I think we haven't had much success over Atlanta, maybe in the past 2 or 3, maybe 2 meetings. So for us to get that win in a blowout fashion, that felt really good. It felt like the most complete game that we've had in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Nix looked great. 304 passing, like 4 touchdowns. He's finding his weapons. He seems like he's getting better and better every week. Great rookie campaign from him so far. He still needs, that dynamic weapon. But for what he's got right now, I'm impressed with. I imagine us being competitive, but not sitting at 6-5, the 7th seed in the playoffs. I imagine us maybe being competitive, a tough team to deal with in the race for it. But we still got more work to do. We got the Raiders coming up this week. The same way that we put belt to ass against Atlanta this past week, we need to do the same thing against the Raiders. We had lost to the Raiders 6 times previous to our win to them earlier this week, and we need to continue to do that. Belt to ass. Do not let off the gas pedal.
Well, Larry, this is my question for you. I talk about this young man coming into the season because I feel like it would be a big part, especially if Bo Nix went to the Denver Broncos. Troy Franklin, 17 catches, 159 yards, 2 touchdowns. What can they do to get him more involved in offense? Because, in my opinion, I think he's only had 1 drop on the season. I feel like he can get more deep into their offense. What does Sean Payton have to do to scheme him up and get him into that offense more?
Man, he's just got to take better, more. He the opportunities that he's getting, he's got to make the most of them so he can get more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
For the opportunities that he has, he's coming along. I feel like he's going to be that late addition to the season
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be that what we need. Little Jordan Humphrey. This is the thing. Like, why are we getting little Jordan Humphrey more snaps than the guy that we drafted in the fourth round?
Exactly.
Um, granted the fact that little Jordan Humphrey did have a pass that was a guaranteed first down. He dropped that, and then he made up for it by running for a touchdown. So, uh, but still, he's not that. He's a serviceable guy. Like, he's not that guy. We
Yeah.
need But
Yeah.
for Troy Franklin, I'm pretty happy with what he's done so far. I mean, just 17 for 159. But if you look at the moments, if that moment you'll see why. But I mean, it doesn't look all impressive. 17, 159, 2 touchdowns. But I mean,
It's still
hey,
decent for a rookie, right? I mean, it's
for
not
a
bad.
rookie,
I mean,
for fourth
for a
round.
rookie, especially, we can't expect everybody to come in the league and dominate like Randy Moss did. I mean, that's not always the thing. Sometimes you need to develop like Devontae Adams did when he came into Green Bay, and he learned behind some really good receivers like the Jordy Nelsons of the world, etc. And then he became that guy. This week the Broncos have the Raiders, and I will be honest with you, I'm very concerned about this game. And the reason I'm saying I'm concerned for the Broncos in a sense is I thought Bo Nix was going to be a really good player, but the only reason I'm concerned is you look at the Raiders, you look at Antonio Pierce, they still have that dog in them in a sense. They beat the Ravens, which still to this day doesn't make any sense. They beat the Browns, which didn't make much sense. They had their last game against the Broncos at Denver was 34-18, pretty close game. They only lost to the Rams by 5. They only lost to the Chiefs by 7. And I think that the obvious answer here is that the Denver Broncos must take away Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, could you imagine if he was at Georgia right now? What he'd be doing? I mean, like, you look at that Georgia offense and you see how much the difference is when he's not there anymore. Brock Bowers, as I said, coming into should have been a top 5 pick, and I think he's validating it right now. Look who his quarterback is. Look what's going to happen when he finally gets a real quarterback in Las Vegas. So, do you have any concerns with this Raiders team, and do you think they must shut down Brock Bowers?
No, look at Brock Bowers' numbers. 70 catches.
Ridiculous.
70 catches, 706 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And listen, but that's the more maddening part. I believe I had him in the top 10 of my NFL draft. But the people who say, oh, no, he's not going to go top 10. Man, he's doing this with nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like I said, imagine when he finally gets a quarterback next year. And if you're Devontae Adams, you got a Brock Bowers right there. Why would you want to leave that? You got that really good tight end. As long all they had to do was get a quarterback in, I guarantee the Raiders would have been a better team this year. But hey, man, maybe Aaron Rodgers has the juice. I don't know.
You got Cam Ward, you got Shador coming out, you got another host of more quarterbacks that they
you even have Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is still in there. I don't care what anybody says. Quinn Ewers is still in there.
Yeah, Carson Beck.
Yeah, people, like I said, people have looked at this game this year and said he struggled. But come on, man, now when you lose a Brock Bowers, I mean, look what he's doing in the NFL. Imagine what he's going to be doing in Georgia right now. So yeah, that's a dangerous team for sure.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, but I don't. As far as him shutting him down, you talking about Denver shutting Brock Bowers down?
Yeah, because Denver can be really high sometimes, and then it can be a little inconsistent. And that's my only worry about Denver. I think if you're Denver, you have to go in and you have to pretty much put these guys away in the first half. You don't want this game to linger in the second half. You don't want that.
Yeah, because even though they've been struggling, they still professional. Like they're still a division rival. You still
Yeah,
got Max
yeah,
Crosby on the other
yeah.
side. Max Crosby is he's been having much success against the Denver Broncos him when since he came into the league.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get that going. Jack Jones, like like they not the same guys, but that we thought they were going to be. But they can
Hmm.
come through in those type of moments. They a game like this, like you're playing Denver. You're playing a division rival. They beat you early in the year. Why not spoil the party for them?
Yeah.
That's
And
why I
yeah.
understand. I understand why you say you're concerned.
Yeah, and what you said was very important, Ray, when you said professionals. Because when people see a team that stinks in the NFL, like earlier this season when Carolina was horrible, like, oh man, a college team could be no. This is why this is the NFL. I think this is the first year in maybe a long time we've actually seen teams getting blown out like this because we have some really good teams in this league who are just beyond the other teams. So this is the first time we've seen this in a long time, but the NFL has had parity for a long time. Um, so yeah. Speaking of parity and speaking of not living up to expectations, let's talk about the team that everybody likes to make excuses for no matter what. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hmm.
Sir, okay, so let's just go through their season so far. We'll go games 1 through what's their record? They're what, 4-7.
Four
We'll
and
go through their
seven.
11. We'll go through 11 games. We'll just go through the scores. Patriots 16-10 loss. Chiefs 26-25 loss. Commanders 38-33 loss. Panthers 34-24 won, but that was close. Ravens 41-38 loss. Giants 17-7 win. At the Browns, won 21-14. The Eagles, 37-17, loss. Raiders, 41-24, win. Ravens, 35-34, loss. And Chargers, 34-27, loss. I get that Joe Burrow's having a great season, but I'm going to tell you like this, Larry. It doesn't really matter how much of a historic season he's having for two reasons. Number one, there have been times where he hasn't been clutch. So I don't care if he has 27 touchdowns. There have been times where he could not get it done. And especially if you go back to the Washington game, they had doldrums in that game and they let Washington get ahead. And see, when there's another team in the NFC who has so-called empty stats, no, everybody jumps on them. But everybody's lovable Bengals. Hey, we're going to give them a pass. They're the lovable Bengals. And here's the second thing. And I had some people say that saying on my Facebook. Well, I strongly disagree. One dude said, I strongly disagree. Well, Mr. Trey, you're the same one. I'm the same one who told you it was Detroit and everybody else. Bam. Number two, I said last night. By the way, you're a good dude, Trey Larkins. Good dude, by the way. Check out his content on Facebook, Trey Larkins. But anyway, giving up Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon plays this year. Right now, you're looking at probably a 7-win Bengals team easily. They beat the Ravens twice. And they don't lose the games they lose. Everybody talks about what happened in the NFC with that team in Texas. We gotta start talking about this team in Cincinnati. They got their quarterback. They got their receivers. The defense is trash. We get that. But guess what? If your offense is paid to go and score every damn time, you got to go scoring every damn time. And they haven't done it. And the excuses must stop for the Cincinnati Bengals.
And stop overlooking the fact that their owner is cheap. And
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
I mean, you trading away Joe Mixon. You signing Joe Burrow, but okay, it's taking you this long to sign Jamar Chase. Has Jamar Chase not shown you what he's capable of this year? He's got 1,000 yards, 1,056 yards off 73 catches and 12 damn touchdowns.
There
I
have been
mean,
times they haven't even looked at. And you see, Larry, I hate to interrupt you, man, but see, this is the part in sports where it starts to piss me off, where people start to have their conspiracy theories, where people start to have their theories about, oh man, is sports fixed? Because there have been times where they haven't looked Jamar Chase's way. Are they trying to not Jamar Chase, in my opinion, if they really want to, he could have over 2,000 yards receiving this year easily. Are they trying to reduce his value a little bit? Because at times they're not throwing him the ball when he's open. What happened in that 2-point conversion situation? And not saying that sports is fixed, folks. I'm just saying sometimes owners can, or there have been theories that owners can tell the coaches or whatever, or the quarterback, hey, look, don't throw the ball to this guy certain times. It might help his value. It might help his value, etc. We've seen times, even though people got mad at Antonio Brown a few years ago, they didn't want Antonio Brown to get his bonus. And brother got mad and walked off the field. And, he didn't. It wasn't right what he did, but I understand it. At the same time, Jamar Chase is a hell of a receiver. T. Higgins is going to be gone. Jamar Chase took out a $50 million insurance policy to protect his life, basically, going to this year in case he got hurt. The Bengals might screw around and lose Jamar Chase.
Yes, they will. And I'm thinking, is there a team in Denver that would like that? I'm not even gonna go that far. I was gonna say,
No,
nah.
not Denver
Okay.
because I don't think that guys. No offense to Sean Payton, I don't think people really want to go to Denver after the whole Russell thing. But also, I'm not gonna say the Russell thing, but I think that the Broncos need to do more drafting than going after free agents because you really don't know. But I will say this: where did Jamar Chase go to school?
LSU.
Isn't there a quarterback right now in the nation's capital who didn't their team that got like $120 million plus a cap space that could pay Jamar Chase some damn near $100 million? Yeah.
Definitely could. I
Now,
was only saying Denver
yeah.
because me and you was talking about they need that dynamic player.
Now let me say this
But
though. Let's say if he did go to Denver, could they pay him? Because remember, is the money from Russ going to come off? When is the money from Russ? That's my biggest concern. When is the money from Russ coming off?
I think after this year.
Okay, I don't want that defense to suffer. That's my biggest. That's my biggest thing in Denver is I do not want that defense to suffer. And you have to remember they already paid Surtain, so you don't want to start having to pay these big contracts, and and they're not really able to get what they're looking for. Because in Denver in the past, it really hasn't been about free agents. As you know, it's always been about what? Drafting. The Broncos have always drafted. Speaking of that, let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up Denver's cap space going into 2025. And for reference, let me give you all some of the cap spaces right now. Just a few of them. It's crazy. Patriots 2025, 132. Cap Cardinals 113, who we'll get into in a few minutes. The Raiders 112. Commanders, they're down to 99. The Broncos in 2025 will have 56, almost 57 million. So you know what? Here's the thing. Jamar Chase wants to be paid, but let's just say Broncos came with him with and you can work under the cap space. You can work the cap. People act like you can't work. You can work the cap. But let's say he goes to Denver and he likes the aspects of Bo Nix. That's going to say a lot about Cincinnati. That's going to say a whole lot about Cincinnati if you were to take. But like I said, but here's the crazier thing. I know we're not in the NFC yet. What if he somehow went to Arizona? What if he went to Arizona and went and teamed up with Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do you know how nasty that would be? With that tight end McBride from Colorado State, who is underrated as hell.
That offense probably breaking records.
Exactly. And you still got the draft. So that's my point. If you're Cincinnati right now, Larry, you've got to finish strong if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, to me, there's just absolutely no doubt. Let's look at the games here, right? You got the Steelers at home. You got to win that football game.
Yeah.
They're not going to, but you got to win that football game.
Never know. You never know.
Hey, listen. I'll
Division?
say this. Right. And I'll say this too. Russell, I feel like, has to have at least a 350 game, because if he struggles, the rumblings about Justin Fields will start. You know how it is nowadays, man. How people be talking. The rumblings going to start again. Then you got an 8-15. Then you got a game on December 9th at Dallas. If you lose that game, if you go on Monday Night Football and go to Dallas and lose that game to that sorry-ass team, if you go lose to that sorry-ass team with Cooper Rush, you're going to lose to Cooper Rush? Come on now. Man, you suck. And then, check this out, right? You got Tennessee with Mayonnaise himself. They really thought Mayo was going to come in and actually do something this year. Are you kidding me? Then you got
I actually thought he did. I actually thought he was.
bruh. And then you got the you got the Browns. You should win that game. Then guess who you got? Then you got the Broncos coming to your town.
And then I'm concerned about that game right there.
Yeah, but then what's your last game of the season? At Pittsburgh on January the 5th in the cold. So basically, bro, you're 4-7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left. If the Bengals are not at least 9, if they don't have at least 9 wins, they better beat Dallas. They better beat the Cowboys, the little sorry asses. They better beat the Tennessee Titans with their sorry asses, and they better beat the Browns. Broncos and Steelers are debatable. But, bro, if they don't have at least 1, 2, 3, 7 wins by the time they play Denver, bro, the coach should be fired. Jamar Chase should want out everything. Yeah.
He just went to a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Real quick question. Didn't Doug Peterson win the Super Bowl? Where is he at now? And he about to get fired again.
He's not fired yet.
Again. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, how hasn't he been fired yet? I mean, come on, man. They went to London and it was almost a national incident.
Yeah.
When they lost to the Bears. The hell? Oh, speaking of the Titans, let's talk about the Titans. You know, I didn't get a chance to upload my video where I said receivers go to die. But that's exactly where Tennessee is. Check this out, guys. So this matchup this week, I want to give you the quarterback. I don't think Will Levis is playing. Is Will Levis playing this week? I don't think he's playing this week. Let me see if he's playing.
Him and Mason Rudolph. It's not really choice.
His last game against Minnesota. And look, this is a little bit of an indictment on Minnesota too. 17 of 31, 295, a touchdown and a pick, but he was sacked 5 times, sacked 7 times the previous game. Let's look at the quarterback matchup here, sir. We got Joe Burrow, 3,028 yards, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Will Levis, 1,169 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Calvin Ridley must be thinking, Calvin Ridley's probably thinking himself, I should have kept gambling. Because this right here was the worst gamble I ever took in my life, going to the daggone Tennessee Titans. I mean...
And mind you, he hasn't had a 100-yard game since the Detroit game, but since then he's been 5 for 73. He went 5 for 84 against LA. He went 4 for 58 against Minnesota. Like, I don't even understand why you even went there in the first place. But I mean, go ahead, man.
So I mean, look at it. They had Tony Pollard. They got Tony Pollard. They had DeAndre Hopkins beginning of the season. As I said, that's when receivers go to die. Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, the list goes on and on. Their defense has been really average this past year in a sense. You can tell they missed Mike Vrabel. They got rid of Derrick. They got rid of Derrick Henry. I mean, think about it. I mean, you could have kept Derrick Henry for cheap and had Tony Pollard and had like a little thunder and lightning type situation. They're a complete mess of a franchise. I don't feel sorry for them. Screw their franchise because they screwed over Vince Young. Vince Young came in there, became rookie of the year. He was a good player, but Jeff Fisher didn't like him. I don't know why. Jeff Fisher was like 0-6, 0-7, and Vince Young came in and won all those games. They screwed over Vince Young. So you know what? Screw the Tennessee Titans because they're a dumpster franchise. You know what they should do? They should move to Memphis. You know what? In fact, you know what they should do with the Tennessee Titans? They should just get rid of them as a franchise and put that team in St. Louis. St. Louis deserves a team more than the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, Tennessee.
I can't stand them. Horrible,
what's crazy is that defense is ranked second, and pass defense they rank first. I think this has a lot to do with like early in the season numbers and stuff like that. Rushing yards, defense, they rank 12, 26th in points though, so you can score on their asses. But That's one of the disappointing factors of the team, and then Will Levis, because I thought Will Levis was going to come in and I'm not going to say light it up, but I thought he was at least going to mature going into his third season, or what is it, second or third season, something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought he was really going to mature, and then with the weapons like DeAndre Hopkins, and then you bringing the Calvin really in there, it's not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And when it comes to Tennessee, I try to like them, but like I said, they had all those seasons where Derrick Henry was taking them to the AFC Championship game. They were playing good football. I mean, Tennessee is just one of those teams where you expect them to be good for a couple of years, and then for them to just suck for like a half decade. And right now, that's what it is. And also, shout out to ESPN, for killing Robert Griffin III back in the day for his brand when Will Levis out there making mayonnaise commercials and he ain't done nothing.
Man.
But you ain't said nothing to Will Levis, but you wanted to kill RG3 back in the day. You little ESPN, Stephen A, and you all want to kill.
That man got a whole closet full of helmets.
That's what he's doing. He's shining his lips up. That's what he's doing. Wow. Okay, real quick. Let's talk about a few more teams in the AFC before the situation before we go on to the NFC. There's been this consensus or this concern about the Chiefs. Are you concerned about the Chiefs?
Nah, I'm not concerned about the Chiefs. I am
it's
concerned.
Funny even thinking about it. They're 9-1.
Yeah, they just took the first loss that they had in since what last year?
Since the Raiders, they ain't lost. Yeah. Their last loss was late January to the Raiders.
Yeah,
in Kansas City.
That's a lot of winning.
Yeah.
So you're going into the Buffalo environment. I mean, granted, the fact that they still had a chance to be in the game.
And let's mind you, everybody keeps talking about Buffalo was missing Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Could you imagine right now if they had Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown?
Yeah.
And the Chiefs haven't even peaked yet. And when they get Pacheco back, that running game is going to be even more potent. That's what people are forgetting. People are forgetting that Isaiah Pacheco ain't there.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, you know what they are again? They're the lovable losers again. Because people are talking about Buffalo this, Buffalo that. Didn't Buffalo get blown out at Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is everybody forgetting about that? That did happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Josh Allen starting to throw picks again, right?
Mm. So we can't. You highlighted Isaiah Pacheco. That's one person that you cannot leave out. And then you added Kareem Hunt. So so if that's not a dangerous duo right there, because you can use Kareem Hunt, you can use Isaiah Pacheco in the pass game as well too. But you can use Kareem Hunt in the screen game, in the pass game, and then you got a Pacheco running angry as hell. Like, no, I'm not concerned at all.
Any final thoughts on the AFC? Give your final thoughts on the AFC.
I do like the Bills' offense, though. Yeah. Great that you just brought up. Without Stephon Diggs, so they didn't even have Dawson Knox like that.
Their best record since 1992. But you know what's funnier though? What's funny about the situation? Who did they play in the 1992 Super Bowl?
Was it Dallas?
No, I believe it was. I think it was Washington, and Washington's good this year.
Damn.
In fact, let me make sure I check that because it's crazy, man. How these teams are just playing so well. I'm going back to the 1992 Buffalo Bills. They were 11-5. Let me see. Yeah, they were 11-5 that year. They were 11-5. It may have, they said since 1992, so it probably was a 92-93 season. Because I know they got off to like one of their best starts ever. So yeah, what was it? In 92, okay, let me go through their schedule in 92. So in 92, They beat the Rams, Los Angeles Rams, still at the time. Isn't it funny how they went from Los Angeles to St. Louis and how life goes?
Back to Los Angeles.
hey, the way it's going out there, they may go back to St. Louis. Who knows? They beat San Francisco. They beat the Colts. They beat the Patriots. Lost to the Dolphins and the Raiders. They beat the Jets, Patriots, Steelers, Dolphins, and the Falcons. And when they beat the Falcons, that was November 22nd of 1992. And then they lost 3 games between November 29th and December 27th to the Colts, Jets, and Oilers. So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, man, the Buffalo Bills are that team to me where it doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. They got to get it done in the postseason.
That's what it matters down to. Because they've been winning in the regular season for so long.
And this is something that they don't want to do. This is something that they don't want to happen. And I know it's not going to happen. One team they don't want to get hot is the Miami Dolphins. And I only say it because of this. Miami has started so strong the last couple of years. What happens? What happens, Larry, if Miami gets hot and somehow, some way, you got to go into the playoffs and you got to see that offense? As I'm looking at the AFC, because the AFC standings are very, very, very important as far as like playoff picture and all that. Because I look at all that stuff. Because all that stuff right now to me is very, very important. Let
me run through that schedule real quick.
But before you go, real quick, your Broncos are sitting at 6-5. They hold the last wild card spot. I'm gonna tell you another team really quick. And before you go to the schedule, I'm gonna tell you 2 teams. Not only the Dolphins, but think about this. This is why that game with you and the Bengals are so critical. The Bengals are 4-7.
Yeah,
they're right there. But I'm gonna tell you another team. The Dolphins are 4-6. But here's another team who everybody should be very afraid of, especially if this young man gets hot. The Colts are 5-6. I swear to you, if the Colts get into the playoffs, they're gonna scare somebody with that running game and that defense they got. But go ahead. Yeah, the AFC picture is scary, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that's why I'm saying, like, with the Dolphins, like, look at their schedule. They face the Patriots this weekend. That's at home. They should win that. They should win that. All right, then you're at the Packers. That's Thanksgiving.
That's at Green Bay, right?
That's at Green Bay.
Hey. Do you know why I'm so happy you brought that up? Do you remember last year when Green Bay went to Detroit and they were dead in the water and they won that game? Ooh. Continue.
At home against the Jets. I mean, look at that, how they playing. Texans.
Before you go, you say that team one more time.
Against the Jets.
Continue.
Okay, then you're at Houston.
They're beatable. They're very beatable.
Exactly. 49ers.
At or home?
At home. That's a win.
49ers are not against that secondary.
49ers are not the same, right?
They're at the Browns. They're not the same.
At the Browns, and then you finish at the Jets. Tell me their schedule does not look very favorable.
Shit. So you're telling me the Dolphins could be this year's Packers, but more dangerous? Woo! Let's go to the NFC.
Let's go to the NFC. That's why I'm concerned.
God mercy, Jesus Christ.
With the NFC.
Oh God,
man.
Okay, listen. Okay, let's just get this out the way right now. The defense played better last night. They played tougher. They played tough against Philadelphia last week. The Cowboys' offense sucks, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make this a PSA. Washington Commanders. I know you talk about, throwing the records out the window and blah, 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 whatever. Guys, you need to go into this game. You need to handle your business. I don't want to see any BS. Don't screw around. Don't do nothing. Because Washington, you got to go in and win this football game. And I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. There's a thing called, and you may see my post on this about the Commanders in the past. There's the curse of 1996, and it's real. The curse of 1996 is real. Let me go back to 1996. I remember it very well. Their first game, they lost to the Eagles. You remember that? You remember that? Remember they lost to the Buccaneers first game? Check this out. They beat the Bears 10-3. They beat the Giants 31-10. They beat the Rams on the road 17-10. Beat the Jets 31-16 bye week. Beat the Patriots. Beat the Giants, and they beat the Indianapolis Colts. Okay? At that point, they were 7-1. 7-1. They lose to the Buffalo Bills. They lose to the Arizona Cardinals at home, which at that time was sacrilegious. 37-34. They go to Philadelphia, beat the Eagles at the time, 8-3. They were 8-3. November 24th to my birthday, December 22nd. Check this out. Lost to the 49ers at home, 19-16. I remember because I was at my aunt's house that day. Lost to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I remember. My uncle was home for that game. Lost to Tampa. I remember. They were wearing the cream sickles. Yes, people, my memory goes back that far. Then they lose to Arizona again on the road to Jake the Snake Plumber at Sun Devil Stadium. God, those were the days. That's why I always say strange things happen after 4 p.m. in the desert. And that's the game that set the standard. 27-26. They lose out on the division. Guess what Dallas's record was that year? 10-6. Guess what the Eagles' record was? 10-6. Dallas won the division by default. Washington was 9-7. Arizona was 7-9. Giants was 6-10. Their last game, they beat Dallas 37-10. Washington exploded. Cowboys rested their starters. So think about that, Larry. They were 7-1. That's why I call it the curse of 1996. People are like, oh, what is that? Well, I know it because I'm historian in this game. I remember these things. They were 7-1. Washington has to be very, very careful. In your opinion, does Washington need to blow Dallas out on Sunday?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Didn't a couple years ago, remember when Dak got hurt and he missed the season?
Yeah.
I think he had the broken ankle or something like that.
It was a horrible injury that I will never get over to this day. It was horrible. I mean, it was just disgusting.
That year, I forget the exact number, but the Commanders, I think, beat Dallas by a combined.
I think I sent it to you. It was like 60-some
to like 19.
Oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible. Like
the Commanders need to avenge that loss that they had against Philly last Thursday. They need to go in and whoop ass. Now, I will say that since this is a division game, Dallas will probably put a fight up. It'll probably be one of those games that Jaden Daniels has to fight to win because of the division. The lookout, but this should be a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The Cowboys defense actually, since Parsons gotten back, actually in the last 3 weeks, has played better. You just don't see it on the scoreboard because of the simple fact that, like you look at last night, that was a 20-10 game. CJ Stroud was struggling, but then Cooper Rush turns the ball over again. But let's look at the Commanders, bro. Let's honestly take a deep dive. But I'm gonna tell you where I get afraid. Because for the Commanders, there's a rivalry game against Dallas, okay? And you play them at 1:00. You play the Titans next week, bro. You should beat the Titans. You're at home. You should beat them. But again, like you said, that defense sometimes can be a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where things get a little bit scary. Historically, I don't care how bad they are. New Orleans is still a tough place to play at the end of the season. I don't care if they suck or not. Historically, the Saints are and they can still win this stupid division, which is the scary part. This division sucks. Like this division is horrible. Then they got to play the Eagles on December 22nd, my birthday. Then they play the Falcons, which at that point we don't know. The Falcons are Jekyll and Hyde. But then the kicker is you go to Dallas the last game of the season where Dallas has sucked all year. That could be a trap game. So in my opinion, you gotta get your division, get your playoff spot before get your playoff spot before before
they should be winning these next two games here. These next two games,
it should be about average 2 to 3 touchdowns. If you're that legit, it should be by 2 to 3 touchdowns. Yeah. And this is different space. And if you're the Commanders, you got to take advantage of this. Dallas isn't going to be this bad next year. I can guarantee you that because they're going to draft better and they're going to probably have some more cap space. You're going to get them now just like you did in 2020 when Chase Young was destroying people. You got to get them now because historically, if you look at the last, decade, Dallas will have a really bad year. They'll come back up the next year. Dak's going to be back. You're going to probably get Brandon Cooks back. You're going to get a receiver. They're going to get a running back. And if they get Ashton Genty, then shit, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's going to be nasty. And if they get Travis Hunter, they'll be even more nasty. But you got to get them now. And if you're the Commanders, you cannot start smelling yourselves. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. That Bears game really kind of concerned me because they should have lost that football game. Yeah. And if you look at what the Bears have been since, it's been like, and you kind of think to yourself, did that Hail Mary game kind of, even though it helped them, did it kind of suck some of their juice out? Because now you're looking at them, you're like, damn, they're not really the same team. Teams are starting to scheme more on Jaden Daniels, and I felt like that they need that Pittsburgh game. That Pittsburgh game was very important in my opinion. Losing that game, I think, kind of hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, if you can't go in here and beat this Dallas Cowboy team at home, and then you facing this Tennessee Titan now, I know that Tennessee is like, we just talked about them not too long ago with Will Levis, but they do have.
But as you said, they're still professionals, dog. They're still professionals.
That with Jeffrey Simmons, and I'm pretty sure L'Jarius Sneed will be somewhere back in the fold.
Imagine if y'all got Jeffrey Simmons on Denver. Ooh, wait.
Man, I love John Franklin Myers, by the way. That trade edition, that draft day, former Jet. But then,
oh, by the way. Speaking of you talking about celebrating everything again. One more time for Larry Patterson, 67.5, 67K. Hey, look, here on the Robb Johnson Sports Show, we celebrate people, man. We ain't with all that BS and all that first take crap. We celebrate people here. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him, Sydney. But
hey, also shout out to Randolph Macon. I'm gonna see if I can get the Rug get me to that game next week. The Hampton Sydney game. I think they got a playoff game. All right, Randolph Macon.
You talking about football game?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they played Randolph Macon this past week, and they lost. They beat them. Yeah, no, they lost.
Oh, okay. I think they got another playoff game next week. I think it might be 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I'll see what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, but then as you said, like,
and shout out to Red too. Shout out my man Red from Randolph Macon.
And as you said about New Orleans, that's going there in that environment, that's tough. Facing against the Eagles again, then the Falcons, like you said, don't know what type of team this is going to be. So this is a very iffy schedule. But it's a schedule where you can win these games if you all do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. I was trying to see the division leaders I'm trying to see the division leaders. Right now, right now the Falcons are 6-5, leading in the NFC South. 2 games over the Bucks and 2 over the Saints. It's just, and you know what's the funnier thing? Carolina can still Carolina can still win the division. I'm not even joking. And here's the funnier part. Carolina's been playing better. Hey, don't be shocked if Carolina beats Kansas City this week.
No, that's not.
Bro, I'm telling you. Listen, I don't know what it is. Listen, bro, I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But for some reason, and I don't know why, just feel that I don't know. I just have a crazy feeling. If they were to do that, and then they got the Broncos, the Eagles, look, man, I know it's not gonna happen. But if it somehow did happen, we're gonna have to rethink some things. I'm just saying. It ain't gonna happen. I'm just saying. What if it does? What if it does? Real quick.
I mean,
give it 15 seconds. What if it does happen?
I mean, we've been watching football long enough to know that it can happen. I mean, it'll be shocking, but I don't know if it happened.
those sucky Giants did beat your Broncos when they were undefeated back in the day. But like I said, I guess lightning hits in a bottle once in a while, right?
Yeah, but I do think for them though, like this is a game where you put belt to ass.
You have to. Speaking of belt to ass, speaking of belt to ass, and I just lost my thought. Let's talk about a quarterback who I said years ago, why are you drafting him at number 6? And coming into the season, I'm like, guys, Tyrod Taylor should have been on your roster because he really beat the Eagles down last year and was really winning games for this team. But for some reason, you let him go and brought in Drew Lock. And I said even that Tommy DeVito should have been starting, but no, you want to pay Daniel Jones. And now he gets benched, and this is how he's feeling. Just what the hell were the Giants thinking about when they paid Daniel Jones? Like, what were you thinking about? We knew that Saquon, even though Saquon has his moments where he gets hurt, he's the company man, blah, blah, blah. We knew what was going to happen. You're the New York Giants. That defense is ready to go. You've got Malik Neighbors. And you probably won't draft Shador because you don't draft black quarterbacks in New York. Yeah, I said it. You'll probably go out and you know what the Giants will do? They'll probably wait for Archie. What's his name? Yeah, Archman. They'll probably wait for him to come out or whatever. But we knew this was going to happen. You got a decent running back in Tracy. You got the receiver. You're going to bring in more receivers. Your defense is at least decent. And now you're going to give us. And now you should have started Tommy DeVito at the beginning of the season anyway. This is a disaster, man, for the Giants.
I mean, you're going to start Tommy DeVito, but I still don't think he gives you that chance to.
He's better than Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones is just horrible, man. Yeah, but that's the point that's maddening to me. They out here talking all this mess about Lamar when in Daniel Jones's season when he went to the playoffs, by the way, he beat Kirk Cousins. He beat Kirk Cousins and the Cowboys' current defensive coordinator. He had 15 touchdowns. They protected him. Why did people see that? He was protected. Come on, man. And they paid him for what? And look, at least Geno got paid, and at least he's almost at the top of the division.
Yeah. They're putting up excellent numbers, by the way.
Excellent.
But
like Mr. Burns, excellent.
That offense, I don't know, that general manager, I don't know what they're thinking, but I mean, I know they tried to pull, with the draft, with drafting Evan Neal and the other kid, the kid from Georgia, Andrew.
From Georgia, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So I know they pulled this, they took a swing at it, but their offensive line has been bad for years. And it's not like I'm so glad that Saquon left because it's not like it would be any better. So you would have been paying him and then trying to screw him, later on down the line when your situation isn't working out. Signing Daniel Jones is probably the best thing for them. And I say it's the best thing for them so other people can see the light inside of them. Like what are you doing? This defense, like you said, is ready to go. And I feel like if they had a little bit more offensive support, and you got a quarterback back there delivering that ball, I feel like this team will be in a better situation.
I think games like this. So see in 2016, I think what date was this, by the way? This was September the 16th of 2016. I was fresh out the hospital. Brother was fresh out the hospital and lost like 50, 60 pounds. I was weak, no good. And I had to go watch Miami play Duke. Duke lost that game 40-21. But in that game, Daniel Jones, I think this is one of the games that got him drafted because it was Miami. Even though Miami's defense won all that, he was 34-50 for 316 and 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, 316, says, I just whipped your ass. Well, no, you know what Daniel Jones 316 means? It means that you're on the bench now and you're going to be a backup probably the rest of your career. Let me say this, though. Let's say, do you think Daniel Jones can revive his career somewhere else?
In the right situation, yeah.
Like where? Just give me a quick, if off top of your head.
I don't know. San Francisco. Well, I know that's not going to happen, but you know, because the Kyle Shanahan system, he's a running quarterback.
Yeah, but you know what Daniel Jones needs to do in the offseason? He needs to go to the XFL. Dead serious. And you know why I say that? Because I think a lot of people would be diss the XFL and to see it in the new United Football League. I think they diss it, but I think that a lot of players could go there and really fine tune their game. Because if you go there and you can't play, then you can't play in the NFL. You go there and you fine tune your game. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at baseball players. Baseball players, and of course, they have a bigger shell life. But they go and they play the minor leagues and they fine tune their game. Then they come up. I think that for players who really need, that's why I used to be kind of the advocate for Colin Kaepernick. I'm like, forget him now. He could have gone to the XFL, proved himself, and guess what he could have done? He could have put tape. He could have put real tape out there. And you know what he could have said? Y'all ain't got no other choice but to sign me now. What you gonna say? I'm putting up 250, 300 yards a game, but he didn't do that. So with Daniel Jones, that's what he needs to do. He needs to go to the United Football League. He needs to reprove himself. And there's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL, a lot of players that need to do that, in my opinion, honestly. But you know, a lot of players are afraid to do that because of not only humility, but I call it the LeBron James effect. He didn't want to go do the dunk contest because he was afraid if he failed, people would diss him and say he wasn't that good. What if you go to the United Football League and you're not that good and you don't dominate? People are going to look at you, oh, so you're taking a risk. But guess what, man? It's football at the end of the day, brother. It's football. Yeah. It's football.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking of football, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, speaking of, this is pretty much last topic because this is the last thing I want to get to. First of all, how about the 49ers? Bang, bang, Niner gang. Second thing I want to say is, how about them Arizona Cardinals, Mr. Brian Snow? How about them Cardinals? You said they're going to have 3 wins this year. What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Arizona Cardinals. Go ahead, Larry.
You gotta let them know, huh? Sitting at 6-4. Sitting at 6-4.
Shout out to Brian Snow, by the way. Check out all his multimedia platforms on all platforms.
What is Kyler Murray? He's throwing for over 2,000 yards right now. It's 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You got Trey McBride leading the team in receptions.
Who I talked about a few years ago.
Out of Colorado State. Denver should have drafted him, but hey, Marvin Harrison coming through, 33 for 499 and 6 touchdowns. 6.
Yeah.
James Conner out there running like he's always running, 5 touchdowns, 697, averaging.
Just remember, Larry. Just remember. Teams had an opportunity to get James Conner. He was out there when he left Pittsburgh. Oh, he was out there.
Yeah.
He was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was out there, buddy.
Yeah, 4.4 per. He's still doing his damn thing. Buda Baker still he's got 100 tackles on the season. So I mean, he's still doing his thing. They got to get better defensively, but very, very, very impressive by the Cardinals, man. They got Seattle this week in a winnable game. What else does their schedule look like? Seattle, and then they got the Patriots. They got the Panthers. Very favorable schedule coming up here.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. And see, when they lost to the Commanders, people were like, oh, the season is over, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, Here's the bottom line out of this whole situation. That loss, I feel like, humbled them and made them a better football team. You still got Buda Baker back. I love Buda Baker, man, because that dude is a freaking missile. And he can hit you, and he will make you feel it the entire game. So I am an absolute huge fan of this Cardinals team. I think that they have a lot of things rolling for them. You remember when everybody called Kyler Murray Call of Duty, and he's just in that. Well, guess what, people they have lives outside of football. It's not just about your parlays. It's not just about your parlays. It's about the game. And that's the problem in today's sports. That's why sports suffers, because all y'all worry about is your freaking parlays. And you don't analyze the game anymore. You don't look deep into the game anymore. You don't study film anymore. You just worry about your little stupid parlays. Go ahead.
Feel attacked.
Hey,
feel a little attacked.
You feel attacked. Hey, listen, but that's the thing, though. You actually analyze the game. There are a lot of people out there, majority, that don't analyze the game. They don't care about the games anymore. They don't have the love for the game. It's about their little parlays.
You're right. You're not even seeing what this team is where they ranked or what they're doing on the regular. Just
have the Cardinals even been talked about on the so-called corporate media shows? Have they even been discussed?
They're not.
Look, have the 49ers really even been criticized this week? Oh, I forgot. Kyle Shanahan. You can't criticize Kyle Shanahan. That's against the rules.
Which we talked about this Sunday, and I said that I'm pretty sure a coordinator will probably be fired before he will. But I also feel like this: at the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan is not the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. It's just a complete disappointment right now with what's going on. I know they had injuries. But...
hey man, look, here's the bottom line, right? Steve Wilks had them, third in defense last year? Steve Wilks didn't make the decision to take the ball first. That was whose decision? Let him know, Larry. Whose decision was that?
That was the 49ers' decision.
And who specifically? Who's the head coach?
Yeah, that was Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan. Who wants to be his daddy so bad but can't get done in the clutch.
Steve Wilks is currently in Charlotte, at the University of Charlotte, as some kind of advisor or some shit, and he could be a defensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty teams could have brought him in. Then here's the thing. I can guarantee you one thing though. Before any team, if they better get Robert Saleh before somebody makes him their defensive coordinator next year. In fact,
he's in Green Bay already.
Yeah, he's in Green Bay as an advisor. He's an advisor, but not actually the role.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this, man. Next year, I want you to think about this. Think about possibly getting a situation where you get a Bill Belichick and a Robert Saleh on the same team, and you bring in a really good defensive coordinator. Remember this name, folks. Shannon Dawson, University of Miami offensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn is my choice to be the coach next year for the Cowboys. It's not going to happen because Jerry needs a patsy. It's not going to happen. I had Glenn. I had Aaron Glenn, Shannon Dawson, and Robert Saleh, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. That is an all-star lineup. But hey, Jerry ain't going to do it. And the 49ers are going to be the 49ers are going to be the very same way. Remember, at one time, the 49ers didn't like to spend money. The 49ers didn't like to make moves. But if it continues the way it does for that football team, man, they're going to have some issues. They're going to have some issues.
They already got enough people they got to pay now. You still got to pay Kittle.
Definitely.
You got to pay Purdy.
Definitely. Before we get to shut the hell up, do you still pay Purdy? Because honestly, man,
I do.
You still have to? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
All right, everybody. Let's get to our segment where we tell somebody to shut the hell up.
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
Larry, tell somebody to shut the hell up. Who do you have to shut the hell up for the immediate future?
I wanted to tell Jerry Jones to shut the hell up. I had this.
Before you go. Can we get a clap, please?
I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
What did Jerry say? I had it in
You talking about the
quotation.
quote? You talking about the quote he made this morning about something about we've been to six winningest teams since we won the Super Bowl, and we done this and we done that and blah 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 and yada yada yada.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jerry Jones, and I come from Arkansas, where we sold lots and lots of cocaine, and we shipped them and we put them on planes. I had dinner with the Clintons, and damn it, I got me an oil fortune. I bought the Dallas Cowboys for $175 million. I'm Jerry Jones. Who the hell are you? Go ahead, Larry. I'm Jerry Jones.
For him to say that they've had these wins, or they've been around they've been close enough, basically, in so many words. They've been close enough, they just haven't gotten it. That, but man, you are hurting this team as much as you're alive. You're hurting this team, and I don't, just as Stephen A. said this morning, what person is advising him to make the decisions that he's making to not go after this guy?
He's got billions, and you can't tell a billionaire what to do, and that's the bad part. But the thing is that he has to realize something. That, speaking of curses, you still got the curse of the Carolina Panthers on you, because that game, most people thought Dallas was going to win, and even Dallas had won that game. They would have gone to Green Bay and got smacked. Green Bay was waiting on them. Green Bay was waiting for them in the bushes like Plies was back in 08. Like Plies in the bushes.
But even if you were to make a move, to get a Derrick Henry, it's like he's not gonna.
It wouldn't matter, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. It won't matter, because the thing is that Green Bay game was so devastating, because they said they never saw it coming. But I told people, Green Bay was legit. They were the younger team. Dallas had overachieved a little bit last year, and that Buffalo. And do you know last year when I knew Dallas was not going to even make a run to the NFC Championship game after that Buffalo game? After that Buffalo game, I knew. Even when they beat Detroit, I said it's a fluke. Even when they beat Detroit, I said it was a fluke, and it came to fruition. And then you're looking at Deron Bland's been out the entire year. We haven't seen Brandon Cooks, so this team is not the same. And then you bring back Ezekiel Elliott, who they said his mind wasn't all right. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Your mind isn't right. You're 5 minutes away from being out of the league. What are you talking about, more folks? Then you go last week and you fumble the ball against Philadelphia? Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I don't like what's going on there, and I think that he should be strongly considering either letting somebody else take the reins over day-to-day operations of the Dallas Cowboys. We know we're not going to sell it, but I mean, do something other than what you're doing here lately, and that's the same thing. And I'm not just like other Cowboy people out there who I don't give a damn about they win or not. No. I kind of want to see them win something because they've suffered long enough. I've laughed at them long enough.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see them do something.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I want everybody to shut the hell up about this Mike Tyson fight. What else did you expect? Okay. First of all, he's 58. Second of all, I mean, if people don't think by now that these things aren't kind of fixed, then what's wrong with you?
Jake Paul to be ashamed of his damn self.
I mean, Tyson had if you go back and look at parts of that fight, Tyson had opportunities to punch that man right in his face. Over and over again. Jake Paul left himself open to get punched. But according to the conspiracy sources, if Tyson had knocked him out, he wouldn't have got his money. Because guess what? If Jake Paul loses again, he can't continue with the show. Now, by beating Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson is one of those mythical figures that 50 years from now, somebody will tell you he flew. He flew by himself. They'll tell you that he ran for 17,000 miles in a row. They'll tell you that he picked the car up while saving 10 children on a bus. He's one of those myth. You know, he's like Bo Jackson, except more dramatic. I
got a question.
Yeah, please.
Why Mike got enough money? Why didn't you just knock him out anyway? Or will the people come and get him if he did that? Because people come and knock at his door when he does that.
Well, right now they're saying Mike Tyson's net worth went up because of the $20 million, but I mean, the way taxes are now, he probably got about $3 million from that. He got about $3 million at the way taxes are now. Shoot, they tax you so hard you don't even see no money. Jesus Christ! Not even counting the state tax and everything else that goes. Well, I mean, no, there's no state tax in Texas. That's why they put the fight in Texas. That's why they put it in Texas, because there's no state income tax. Smart. See, they may look dumb, but they smart as hell. That's why they put it in Texas. Smart. Very smart. Because we knew they weren't gonna put it in Florida because they probably have Mike fight an alligator or something. But anyway,
you know who's waiting over in the wings in his luxury suite, Mr. Jones.
Who?
Can I get a piece? Can I get a piece of that pie? It was in the AT&T Stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah. Who?
Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah. Jerry got paid from the. Hey,
can I
look,
get a piece of that pie?
Because they had to rent the arena out. You know, they had to pay. They had to pay for security. Oh my God.
Good. Look, Jerry Jones like this. Hey, can I get a piece of that pie?
You probably.
I'm Jerry Jones.
I hope Jerry. Hey man, I don't know what's going on. Jerry out here, losing his mind. Mike Tyson wearing thongs and exposing himself. And somebody tried to show me that. I said, man, you don't get that out my face right now. Like, what is going on out here, man? Like, what is wrong with people? Like, what's going on?
I think they might have got Mike too.
I mean, we legitimately got people. No, Larry, it's scary. We legitimately got people thinking that this is Iron Mike Tyson from 1988. People really think that. I question people's intelligence in this country at times, but after this weekend, I'm downright scared. Yeah. Now, everybody, let's get to our last segment of the day, where we tell the world how we feel. You go first, Larry, because people are gonna be mad at me.
I'm gonna start local with this. Shout out to the Central Lunenburg Chargers for beating Greensville Eagles 49-14 in their 2A quarterfinal matchup this past Friday. They will face Pequosen on Friday.
I like how you say that. I say Pequosen. You say Pequo. Hey, look, you know how you say it? You said like Tony Soprano would say it. Real gangster.
Pequosen.
Yeah, real gangster.
Is it Pequosen or is it Pequosen?
Man, it don't matter. I just know they good. I just know them was good, man. Look, they be smacking people, man. They come off that little island smacking people, man.
Yeah, so Central Lunenburg goes to that island this Friday. Good luck to them.
Yes, good luck to them, because that running game is fierce.
Yeah, Buckingham defeated Central Woodstock 12-7 in a very trenches type of defensive matchup. They now have a home game this Friday against Madison, whom they faced earlier this year, defeating them 29-15. I'll be there. So good luck to those teams in the James River District this week, and that's all I have, man.
Hold up. When did Fort Defiance go to 2A? The hell?
I thought they 2B.
No, Fort Defiance. You gotta be. So no, I was checking the volleyball standings, right? The Fort Defiance Indians were 3A. They've gone down to 2.
Damn.
And they beat Bruton. They beat Bruton. They beat Bruton, and Bruton was good, bruh. Yo, man, some of these realignments in high school have been weird. You know, you got Gloucester. I know we're doing tell how I feel. You know, Gloucester's coming 3A, right?
Really?
They're gonna be playing New Kent now. Yeah.
Mm.
You know, because Grafton went from 4 to 3, and that's why. And thank God Lafayette's going to 4A. That's what they need to be. They need to be in 5, actually.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That man, I heard about them, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you how I feel. So this past week, I experienced some things. First, the New Kent boys football team. Man, they were up. Oh man, they were up 34-21 with like 4:36 to go. Cleveland Heights got a touchdown, onside kick. New Kent missed 2 PATs that got blocked, and got a game-winning field goal that got blocked. And when I left the game, I had to be. I was like, hey guys, just update me because we're about to take this game. We're seeing Lafayette next Saturday. I look in the car. I stop at the store. I look over and it's 35-34, and I'm sick. They lost, and yeah, I was sick. Now, the girls volleyball team, they've lost 3 games all year. 3 games! They've lost, and guess who those 3 losses came to? They came to Grafton, the Grafton Lady Clippers, who have been one of the more dominant teams we've seen. They haven't won a state championship, but they've been, I think since 2017, they've been the state runner-up 7 years in a row, almost 7 years in a row. New Kent is 23-3. Shout out to Leah Round. She had 21 kills. 21. Fallon Greenwald, 15 kills. They go all the way to Kettle Run High School, which is 2 hours away. I made the drive. Once I got off 17, I was like, man, this is crazy. Because I went through a bunch of hilly roads. I didn't know where I was. I was like, man, please don't let me get stopped in this little town. I don't know. Because I think they say it's like 9 miles outside DC. So pretty much I was like maybe nowhere from DC. But they beat Kettle Run, who was 21-2. They beat them in 5 sets. Congratulations to New Kent. And good luck to them tonight. Hopefully, and I think I will be on the road tonight, going to Grafton, putting more miles on my car as usual. But I'll be there tonight to take some pictures and hopefully bring home a good story. But you know what wasn't a good story, ladies and gentlemen? You know something I did not like? Well, I'm not going to say I didn't like it, but I didn't really care. But let me just give this little tidbit to politicians and political parties. The next time you take our vote for granted, give somebody more than 4 or 5 months to run a campaign. Good night, everybody.